I'm Feng. We're, yeah. So the project we'll be talking about is the information kiosk at Snug Harbor.
Hello, my name is David, and I'll be covering the site analysis for this project. So over here, you'll see a picture of the intersection between Fillmore Street and Gazebo Road, where if you look at the image towards the right, the triangle would resemble the exact location the kiosk takes place in. So Snug Harbor is a fairly green place as it is a park in Staten Island, New York. It has some schools, dining spots, parks, and businesses around the area, and it's a fairly high traffic area. In the image, the green zone you see would label Snug Harbor as a whole. In the left, you see markings 1 through 4, where each of these will be images in these exact locations in the map. So over here, you'll see two sun path diagrams, one winter and autumn, and to read this, you'll see like the yellow line would talk about the sun, like the direction the sun will be shining during daytime, whereas the darker orange lines would be as the sun's coming down for a sunset.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Asher, and I'm going to be talking about our inspirations for the information kiosk. Next slide. The first one is located in Ponta Negra, Brazil. So this one is more aesthetically pleasing than it is used for like function because it's located in Brazil. It's like an open space. It has wood support rods to match the scenery, and the glass is to show the art. You can see the desk inside. So how it focuses on the climate around it is what we liked about it, and that's why we picked it out first. Next slide, please. Here's the digital drawing of a bird's eye view, side profile of how it looks.
Here, we have a bubble diagram for activities that can take place inside the kiosk. Then we have the area color coded. All of these sketches and pictures are basically like just brainstorming. And here, we found a kiosk that's in China, which is to show like the general gist and like the price of like a normal kiosk.
Here are some other sketches that I have provided. I was brainstorming ideas for the kiosk and how it could be more welcoming. So I did many kiosk styles that I could come up with. Here are some ideas that can be provided for the kiosk. I wanted to add green roofs because it can provide shade. Move heat from the air, reduce temperatures of the roof surface and surrounding air. A green roof also provides a rainwater buffer, and it can purify the air. It reduces the ambient temperature, regulates the indoor temperature, and saves energy. The good thing about it is that it can encourage biodiversity in the city. I have done some rough sketches of possible choices for the kiosk interior. This is one of them. I was planning a way for the employees to have the opportunity to move around and more freely in the new kiosk, unlike the old one. I have done some layout examples that could represent as the interior of the information kiosk. In these layouts, it shows that the employees will be having more space so that they can move around. Unlike the old information kiosk, it was small and the employees didn't have enough room to move in. With the help of Lawrence, he showed me a way to form my layout sketches through shapes in Google Slides. It can be very helpful and you can make edits and placements pretty quickly. The difference between layout A and layout B would be the placements of the printer and the fridge. This is a sketch that I have made for the kiosk. I wanted to give it a design so that I can fit in with the Snug Harbor, since it has a lot of plants and trees in it. So that's why I decided to put some plants at the sides of the kiosk. It is to make the kiosk to have more nature on it, and it can be something related to Snug Harbor. This is the same model from the last slide, but it is made in Google Slides. Thanks to Lauren's help, the model looks cleaner and it can give people an idea how it will look like in color. I made a I made a cardboard model based on the kiosk that I have made. This is an idea of how the kiosk would look like if it was built. This is the bird eye view of the information kiosk.
So here are like some ideas I did for on AutoCAD to show like my ideas. Here's like the 3D model as like the sunpath diagram showed. The side that's like further away from the sunlight has like an opening.
I would love, can you go back to that last slide so I could see the one with the sliding panels? Because that was super cool. I would love to see that because I can see where that inspiration came from, the one from the Netherlands in ways, but it's very functional and doesn't seem gratuitous like the other one. And I also just want to commend you actually having made that model. And I'm just wondering if you used a Lego figure that might have been inspired by your Principal Cornell's excellent beard. It was a wonderful decision. All of these, I can see where the evolution is from the last meeting. There was I feel like you really took into account a lot of the comments and the requests that we gave last time. One of the things that I feel like I'm still missing is a way to activate the exterior of the structure as a marketing device that can be dynamic. You know, I keep thinking about something as simple as just using chalkboard paint or some way to have there be dynamic programming alerts that can be put up there that can change by the hour or the day or the week. So that's one component that I still just am itching for. And once I say that, I'd love to hear if one of the students might think of how they could integrate that into their design. If I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm just curious.
Oh, I was just gonna say, that chalkboard idea, they could do something like, take out one of the windows, and they can put a chalkboard on a hinge, and have it so that way, people can write from the inside, and then flip it out, so that way it's outside.
No, I just want to also piggyback on that and say, I think these were a lot of really wonderful ideas, and I personally really appreciate the amount of thought that was put in regards to making sure that it's not just something that's accessible and useful for visitors, but then there was also a lot of thought put into there for the staff's comfort, you know, and then the staff's efficiency with what is around there and how they, you know, because they're the ones who have to be in that booth for hours on end. And so then I did see there was a lot of thought put in to make sure that they were comfortable and they had a space to move around and it was functional in that regards. And the green roof is definitely excellent because you know, you also mentioned like increasing the diversity of biodiversity of what was there, because it's something that, you know, we can think about. Somebody else in one of the other projects talked about like native plants for the species, the native plants for the space. So if we thought about putting native plants in that space, you know, pollinators, a place for you know, like thinking like migration of, you know, different pollinators, then it would just continue to, you know, go along the lines of what our mission is. And for me as an environmental, you know, as an environmentalist kind of a person, I love the idea of just adding an extra green space on top of a man-made space, incorporating the two, and that was really, you know, kudos. And I liked that I like the graphic representation for the sun path, thinking and taking into account where the sun will be, if there's glare, the person who's sitting in there, and also looking to see the visitor who's coming there. So how would you angle it so that somebody's not coming up to your booth and you're not talking to them like this because the sun is right in your eye. So yeah, I think, and for me, there's always this duality of trying to make it seem so modern and cool and everything, but then also figuring out how do we take care of this. So like how I'm a low maintenance kind of person, so I do enjoy and I do like a lot of the cardboard structure. To me, I'd be in that booth in a hot second. So yes, thank you all.